on YouTube in May, there was a 110% increase in the search for home office video. Like the search volume increase shows us employees are seeking out how to best maximize their new work environment. I suppose my question is, does environment affect productivity, and how can employers help their employees adjust now?
It's a crazy stat, isn't it?
Yeah.
110%, but it's so understandable. Yeah, I guess, I mean, there's loads of research out there to say working remotely can actually increase productivity, but it's under different scenarios. You know, it's when you're set up physically, like you say, with the right environment, you know, minimal distractions, and also that you have in-office days. And they're the things we're missing at the moment, I guess.
Yeah.
Most people who are working from home right now have not done that before on this kind of routine basis. You know, they have their kids around the space, they're kind of in a shared working space, and hard to maintain that schedule and that balance. So yeah, it's just such a strange environment, and I really think it is affecting productivity. If you don't, I think, you know, acknowledge that as a leader or as an organization, then you're kind of going down the slippery slope to losing your employees, because you've got to acknowledge that and be empathetic that people aren't working as normal and they're doing their best. I guess we're going to take a lot of learnings out of this. People are, I think, the research is showing that people do want to continue to work from home remotely to some level, and they're going to really understand what they need to do that from now on. So real positives can come back from this, I think, and from the challenges. But right now, I think people just have to be understanding, review their ways of working, you know, look at your meeting schedule and say, do we need these meetings? Do we need to do them in the same way as before? You know, what's suitable for this? A video meeting, a quick call, you know, a walking meeting. When I pick up the phone and have a walk, you know, you really need to just challenge the normal ways of working, because they just don't apply, I think, in this environment.
I did a 5K run meeting there last week, which was a new one, but it's a new take on the walking meeting. But like I had to do some exercise. You talk about environments. I have two twin babies. Kira, my wife, is working full time. She's in pharmaceutical manufacturing. That's obviously still manufacturing, still on site. So heavy. She's in communications as well. So we have an hour on, hour off every day throughout the day. So my work day is obviously chopped up, and obviously the kids go for a nap, we get a bit of time, then they're up, and then we're always kind of just looking for a bit of time, so we work into the evenings. And then obviously exercise is so important, so like things like that, they're just innovations, and organizations understanding that stuff might, like for people with families or young kids, might have to spend an hour in the evening catching up on bits they mightn't have been able to do in the day, especially if two parents are working at home, or the single parent, or whatever that is. There's some challenges there that are real, and that I think empathetic organizations will be flexible in that space. Obviously some organizations need certain things done, or be it manufacturing, or be it call centers, whatever it is, need to put on certain times. But I think in all, the workplace and understanding the environment is difficult and different for everyone at home, and demographics are totally different, that you need to be empathetic. But it goes two ways as well, that the employer has that trust, and the employees give the trust back that they are doing their best when they're working with it, that they are finding their own ways to be effective and be efficient and to perform, and that's important as well, obviously, that they're able to get through as much work as they can in the day, you know.
Yeah, that's really interesting, like how you've had to adapt, and how people are adapting to, it's a new environment. Like we have to come up with new ways, we have to embrace change, because otherwise, like you're going to have unhappy employees, and unhappy employees aren't productive, and like it doesn't work. It doesn't help you perform as a team or as a unit, or to try and strive towards being a high performance team, because if you can't get the fundamentals, you can't get your basics right. And I think we're all looking for new fundamentals, because that's changed, and it's about kind of, I think, trusting the people that you work around. But different scenarios, like we've had Sophia, who started on our digital PR team 12 weeks ago. She started on the Friday that we locked down. We closed the office on Wednesday. So like trying to onboard somebody remotely in COVID versus how we would have done that in Merrion Square, it's so different to kind of to try and galvanize and kind of get to know people, and to understand not just how you work with different teams, but what people are into outside of work. And I think going forward, that's going to be key for businesses, because like we'd have people that would be 4 or 5 years working on our teams. They understand our culture. They understand kind of how we do things. Whereas when you're bringing somebody new into the fold but work from home, or with remote, and it's just a different, there's a lot more time, I think, that needs to be put into to show somebody what you're about, because you miss that sitting beside somebody, having them on your shoulder in the office, whereby that was just the norm for us. When somebody came in at the start, they kind of shadowed somebody, they got to know people. We did like walks around Merrion Square to get to know different people on teams. So all that stuff is gone. So you're forced into a kind of a different mindset. But yeah, all really interesting.
And I think onboarding has been actually a really good way for us all to make sure we stay on top of it. I mean, this is just internally in PepTalk, but something we've been chatting to clients about as well in their toolboxes, is the onboarding experience. And same as you, we've had a few new employees join in the last few weeks. So something we did last week was a virtual me box. So we're still a small enough organization that we can give everyone a little bit of time in an all hands meeting. So everyone on the team just presented, a little 3-minute about themselves, whether like through little videos or whatever way they wanted to do it creatively last week. And we had great crack. It was an hour and a half of laughing and really getting to know everyone. So that was really fun. And just making time for a virtual cuppa. So we've been popping virtual cuppas in each other's diary just to make sure we have that like informal touch point, a bit of crack one-on-one. Gives us an excuse to, just get away from the emails for a few minutes. So you definitely have to put a bit of extra thinking time into it, that's for sure.